Antes de empezar, si estás interesado o interesada en clases de inglés conmigo, puedes meterte en englishwithdane.com/classes para informarte. That's englishwithdane.com/classes. Son clases grupales de 4 alumnos max, muy dinámicas y diseñadas para que el inglés se convierta en un reflejo. Si sientes que entiendes mucho pero te cuesta hablar y soltarte, pues ya sabes, englishwithdane.com/classes. Y si quieres transcripts para seguir más de cerca este podcast y para que no te pierdas ni una sola palabra, métete a englishwithdane.com/transcripts. Ambos links están en la descripción del episodio. Today's episode is about how to talk about TV shows in English. A lot of you have asked me to do an episode like this, and I totally get it. Lo entiendo completamente. I totally get it. TV shows or series are something most of us consume on a daily basis. And it feels like the question, what are you watching, has become as normal as how have you been in casual day-to-day conversations. So that's what this episode is about. You won't find any spoilers on this show or anything like that. I won't really get into detail about any shows. This is more of a general approach. All right, let's get to it. You are listening to episode 156 of English with Dane. Hit it. Okay, we have officially started the show, so let's learn how to talk about TV shows or series in English. One thing I'd like to clear up, algo que quisiera aclarar, one thing I'd like to clear up is the difference between shows and series. Now, this is something I didn't know, but apparently there's a difference. So I thought that in the United States, people just said TV shows, and that in the UK, they say series. But apparently, that's not really the difference. So I looked into it, lo investigué, I looked into it, and apparently a TV show is a show that doesn't have to be followed in chronological order. So Jeopardy, for example, is a TV show, whereas Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones are series because they follow a narrative, should be watched chronologically, and are divided into seasons. So there is a difference. It gets a bit confusing because in the UK, people also use the word series to refer to a season, una temporada. Pero no te tienes que preocupar, you don't have to worry because everyone will know what you're talking about if you say show or series. Es más una curiosidad. Okay, so first off, let's start with some questions you might hear, que oirías, that you might hear or ask if you are interested in TV shows. If you want to ask someone what they have been watching currently, you could say, what are you watching right now? Se entiende que right now isn't right now, this second. You could also say, what are you binging right now? If you know that the person you are talking to usually binge watches shows. A quick parenthesis, to binge, spelled B-I-N-G-E, is a verb that means to indulge in an activity, especially eating, drinking, or taking drugs in excess. So, como darse un atracón. Basically, it used to be mostly for eating, drinking alcohol, and taking drugs, but now we use it for watching too. You can binge eat, binge drink, and now binge watch. This, of course, came to be with the advent of on-demand TV. Before, it was practically impossible because you were a slave to scheduled programming. But now, for better or worse, para bien o para mal, for better or worse, you can usually watch what you want when you want it. If it's a good thing or not, that's up to you. It's probably not. No sé. By the way, you can also use binge as a noun, como sustantivo, and now you're talking about the period of excess. He's on a binge, for example. So, more questions. If you need a recommendation, have you been watching anything good? Do you have a show to recommend? And also, just the statement, la afirmación, just the statement, I need something new to watch, also works. You'll hear a lot of people say they just finished watching something, so now they need a new show. Have you watched anything good lately? Also works. There are, of course, lots of ways. I'm just giving you a few that I would use. Now, let's recommend shows to people. We all do this. We watch a show, we think it's great, and now you want to tell your friends about it because you want them to experience it and you want someone to talk about it with. Quieres tener alguien con quien hablar. You want someone to talk about it with. So, a classic. You have to watch the show. It's not even a question, it's an order. You have to watch the show. Big emphasis on have. This is something native speakers do a lot, actually, and it's something English learners don't use to their advantage enough when trying to sound more natural. Word emphasis. You have to watch the show we just finished. If you know someone in particular who would really enjoy a show you watched, you would say, I have a show you would love. Tengo una serie que te encantaría. I have a show you would love. Mete el would ahí. Instead of saying I have, you could also say, I just watched, por ejemplo. I just watched a show you would love. All right, let's move on and get more descriptive. If a show te mantiene enganchado o enganchada, if it really holds your attention, it is gripping. That's G-R-I-P-P-I-N-G, gripping. Grip means agarre. So you can see how this word makes sense here. I love that show. I couldn't stop watching it. It was really gripping. It's like saying cautivante. I think that's a good translation. Cautivante, gripping. You could also say captivating if you prefer. Gripping and captivating are really similar. Next up, we have based on. Not an adjective, but a useful phrase to know. A show can be based on a true story or true events, a true crime show based on a real investigation, a historical show based on an actual family, etc. You'll often see this at the beginning of a show or movie, right? Based on true events. Maybe it says inspired by true events instead, which I always think is a stupid thing to say. Inspired by true events kind of means nothing, in my opinion, because, well, isn't everything? Anyway, next. Character-driven is a good one too. If a show or series is more about the development of characters and their relationships, it's character-driven. Character hyphen guion driven, con un guion ahí en medio. Examples of character-driven shows are The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, The Wire, Gilmore Girls, shout out to the early 2000s. Now, the opposite of character-driven would be plot-driven. The plot of a show is la trama, right? What happens, essentially? The series of events that makes the show move forward. Driven as in the past participle of drive, in case that wasn't obvious. So what drives the show, what propels or pushes the show forward can be the characters, the relationships, and how these change, or the plot. So the series of events that take place. Next up is maybe one you haven't heard before. Quirky. Q-U-I-R-K-Y. Quirky means unusual, but in an attractive and interesting way. Quirky shows are usually comedies. Quirky comedies include The New Girl, Community, Nathan For You, etc. So comedies that are odd, strange, or peculiar. 3 words that mean the same thing. We use this adjective for people too. Your friend that dresses weird and has his or her own sense of humor that people don't really get. That person is quirky. Then we have period. This word is usually accompanied by the word drama. A period drama is a show that takes place in a particular historical period and usually involves costumes, sets, and props that make you think of or evoke those times. Period dramas include Downton Abbey, Bridgerton, The Crown, etc. Next up, we have the word edgy. Edge as in filo, borde, and then a Y, un Y, edgy. Something that is edgy is at the forefront of a trend, unusual in a way that is fashionable or exciting. I found that edgy is mostly used for comedies because I think humor is a good way of pushing the boundaries. So let's mix the word edgy in with the phrase dark comedy. Dark comedies are usually edgy. They make fun of topics that would make a lot of people uncomfortable, perhaps. The Boys is a dark comedy, and it's pretty edgy too. Dead to Me, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Barry, BoJack Horseman, etc. These are all dark comedies, and I would consider them to be edgy too. Como que están al filo de ser insultantes o ofensivas. Rick and Morty, of course. Let's finish off with a few more. I'll go a bit faster. Shows can be epic if they are large-scale historical productions with a lot of extras and battles like Game of Thrones. Next, if a show blew your mind, o sea, que te pareció increíble y no te lo podías creer, it was mind-blowing. Otra vez con guión. Mind-blowing because it blows your mind. Te hace estallar la cabeza. If a show was made, si se hizo, if a show was made with very little money, it's a low-budget show. Low budget. If it is visually incredible, it's stunning. STUNNING, stunning. If it's frenetic, it's non-stop. Con guión nuevamente. Non-stop. Non-stop action, non-stop violence, etc. And last but not least, lighthearted is a great way to describe shows too, if they are funny and not too serious. Feel good is also a way to describe these type of shows because they make you feel good. Feel good with a hyphen, con guión. Friends is a classic feel-good show for a lot of people. The Office, Parks and Rec, etc. Shows that usually end on a good note. I hope this helps. I could talk about this all day and give you guys millions of adjectives, but I don't think it's useful to talk about so many. So take a few from this episode and throw them into a conversation when you can. Let's get away from alejémonos. Let's get away from good and bad. Let's get more descriptive. All right, that's it for this episode of English with Dane. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. If you made it this far, si llegaste hasta aquí, if you made it this far, please give English with Dane a 5-star rating on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. If you want transcripts for all future episodes so you don't miss a word, go to englishwithdane.com/transcripts and sign up to the listener list. You'll receive full transcripts for new episodes on the same day as they come out. If you want past episode transcripts, you can get those there too. That's englishwithdane.com/transcripts. All right, talk soon. Later.